impressive shape makes it one of the largest volcanoes in Japan. It spreads over 12 miles. Its surface consists of several volcanic cones, the most active of which is Mount Naka. Mount Aso is also one of the most closely monitored volcanoes. Despite its sulfur gas emanations, it remains accessible to tourists. In the course of the year, numerous hikers and curious visitors come to observe its crater. Over 1,900 feet at a depth of over 328 feet, the huge crater of Mount Naka contains an acid lake with a temperature in excess of 158 degrees. The Great Plains in the caldera of Mount Aso are heavily populated. They host many villages and farms. This area of Mount Aso is renowned for its hiking trails. Seen from the sky, Kyushu is a good synthesis of the typical Japanese landscape, marked by centuries of farming and gardening. We arrive at one of the historical cities of the island of Kyushu. The city of Kumamoto lies between Mount Aso and the Ariake Sea. It is famous for having been the scene of many military battles in the Middle Ages. To the north of the city, Kumamoto Castle was built in the 15th century. It is still marked by the violent tremors of the recent deadly earthquakes that hit the city. Its roofs, turrets, and decorations have been destroyed. Kumamoto Castle was considered impregnable, but because it was destroyed by fire in the 19th century, the current building is a reconstruction, dating from 1960. It is particularly recognizable because of its curved walls that prevented attackers from climbing them. The castle is considered to be one of the 3 most beautiful in Japan. In 2016, violent tremors and earthquakes shook Kyushu Island, resulting in the death of 50 people and considerable damage. The city of Kumamoto will need time to recover from the violent upheavals of its terrain. Many inhabitants are still living far from their homes in temporary accommodation. All over the Japanese archipelago, millions of people live at the feet of rumbling and steaming ancient volcanoes, both protected and threatened by them. To the south of the island, the cruise ships that crisscross the Bay of Kagoshima lend an idyllic aspect to the landscape. However, just 2.5 miles from the city, we find Sakurajima, one of the most explosive volcanoes in Japan. The black ash spewed from the summit of the volcano is part of the daily life of the 600,000 inhabitants. Local people regularly participate in evacuation drills organized by fire and rescue teams. During the big eruption of 1914, the lava flows filled the strait that separated the volcano from Kyushu, thus linking it to the island. Today, Sakurajima erupts hundreds of times a year.
How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century? From the far future.
Every Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. What excites these adventure seekers? It's so close. What makes their blood rush? Woo! Look at that now. Why are they so fearless? There's thousands of bees. How far will they push their limits? There's only one way to find out for sure. That's to get in the water. Nat Geo Adventure. Monday to Friday night at 10 p.m. on National Geographic.
How did life begin? Can we talk to apes?
Let's ask our science.
Do animals see in black and white?
What is the internet?
How do ants communicate? How do birds migrate?
Why did we build cities?
How big is Asia?
Who invented fire? How do metals cure diseases?
Can we fly? Can a snake fight itself?
Can lightning strike a plane?
Why do we dream? Why do we exist? What is gravity? Can we live on Mars?
Great things happen when you ask questions, and every question takes you further. Go further every day with National Geographic.
This April on National Geographic Network. Celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day with a global initiative from National Geographic. Catch 24 hours of non-stop wildlife documentaries.
The sooner we can take action, the less harm will result.
A groundbreaking new series looks into the secrets and journeys that define these mega icons from India.
Knowledge makes you great.
Get ready for a week of predator versus prey. No holds barred battles. Step inside the cockpit and follow new and experienced pilots as they are put through their paces.
That's fabulous.
You're in perfectly good hands, and that's what it's all about.
All new this April on National Geographic Network.
We continue our journey to discover the production of nori seaweed in the Ariake Sea before traveling on to Mount Unzen. The Shirakawa River that runs through the city leads us to the sea. This is the largest bay on the island of Kyushu, a mixture of fresh water and seawater. It has Japan's biggest mudflat. The bay is fed by dozens of small streams that flow down from the mountain of Kyushu. Its tides can make the water level vary by 19 feet. This is the perfect place for the cultivation of nori seaweed. Nori seaweed has been grown here for more than 60 years in industrial quantities. first days of spring. It always takes place at high tide. The seaweed is used around famous Japanese maki rolls. Nori is the world's most popular seaweed. Rich in fiber and fat-free, it contains proteins and minerals. As we cross the Ariake Sea, we can see the dangerous slopes of the Bunsen volcano on the other side of the bay. For centuries in an impressive setting, creates a feeling of fascination. Its most famous eruption was in 1793. It caused a series of tsunamis and killed 15,000 people. During some eruptions, Mount Bunsen can generate impressive pyroclastic flows, and avalanches of ash and stone heated to more than 930 degrees that run down the slopes at a very high speed. "4,400 feet high. It last erupted in 1991. 43 people died, including the famous volcanologists Katya and Maurice Kraft. Further north, across the Great Bay of Ariake, we arrive in the Saga region. Tea grows in the hills around the city of Hiroshima. The island of Kyushu produces 30% of the tea consumed in Japan. The climate of the region of Saga is conducive to an early harvest, and the many varieties of tea have an extremely varied production. The tea plants are covered with large black plastic tarps a few weeks before harvest to cut off the sun's rays in order to intensify the flavor of the leaves. It is from this region of Kyushu that tea was reintroduced throughout the country in the 12th century. The Buddhist monk Asa brought back tea seeds to the island from a trip to China. Asa is also at the origin of the religious ritual of the tea ceremony. Here, near Nagasaki, on large plots of flat ground, tea can be planted in rows wide enough for huge mechanical harvesters. Throughout Japan, tea is as much a pleasure for the senses as a spiritual beverage. In northwest Kyushu, in the Karatsu region, another day's work begins in the terraced paddy fields of Warabino no Tanada. Here, at the foot of Mount Hachimandaki, 1,000 painstakingly marked out paddy plots cover an area of 98 acres. The plots are divided by stone walls, with some even reaching 26 feet. It took 10 years to complete the construction. These terraces demand a large number of workers and hard labor. The soil of Warabino has a high concentration of basalt, which accumulated 7 million years ago as a result of volcanic activity. The enriched soil is ideal for growing rice. At dusk, as the waters of Imari Bay reflect the setting sun. Each wave-shaped plot seems to light up.
How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century? Who will we become in the far future?
This April on National Geographic Network. Celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day with 24 hours of wildlife documentaries. Get ready for a week of predator versus prey battles. Step inside the cockpit and understand what makes or breaks a pilot. All new this April on National Geographic Network.
Every Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. What excites these adventure seekers? It's so close. What makes their blood rush? Whoa! Look at that mouth. Why are they so fearless? There's thousands of bees. How far will they push their limits?
There's only one way to find out for sure. That's to get in the water.
Nat Geo Adventure. Monday to Friday night at 10 p.m. on National Geographic. Every Monday to Friday at 11 p.m. Can the investigators uncover the truth of what really happened?
He's hiding something from us. This is some conspiracy?
They didn't stand a chance.
Who was behind it? How did they do it? What were they thinking? There's always more to the story. Nat Geo Investigates, Monday to Friday nights at 11 on National Geographic.
How did life begin? Can we talk to apes?
Does art have a science?
Do animals see in black and white?
What is the internet?
How do ants communicate? Why do birds migrate?
Why did we build cities?
How big is Asia?
Who invented fire?
How do metals cure diseases?
Can we fly? Can a snake fight itself?
Can lightning strike a plane?
Why do we dream? Why do we exist? What is gravity? Can we live on Mars?
Great things happen when you ask questions, and every question takes you further. Go further every day with National Geographic.
We leave the beautiful Saga region to travel south to Nagasaki and the Goto Islands. The activity of the city of Nagasaki is mainly focused on the maritime industry. Naval construction began here in 1857. With the arrival of the first Portuguese ships in the 16th century, merchants came here from all over Japan to do business. Catholic missionaries settled in the 16th century, and the first churches were built. They are a subtle blend of European and Asian culture. An important Christian community developed here. At the end of the 16th century, the Catholic religion was outlawed by the Edo government, and Christians were persecuted. In 1597, with Christianity prohibited, 26 Catholics were crucified on the orders of the shogun who reigned in Edo, the city now known as Tokyo. The Basilica of the 26 Holy Martyrs of Nagasaki was erected in their memory in 1864. It bears witness to an age when Japan decided to live cut off from the rest of the world. The basilica is now listed as a national treasure by the Japanese government. On August 9, 1945, a bomb even more powerful than the one that struck Hiroshima 3 days earlier exploded in the heart of Nagasaki, 1,640 feet above a residential district. At the time, the city had a population of 240,000. A third of the city was destroyed. Each year, on August 9th, the city commemorates Nagasaki Peace Day by holding a memorial ceremony in front of the huge statue in the park. Its right arm, raised to the sky, seems to warn of the nuclear threat, while its left arm makes the sign of peace. After the explosion, the survivors searched the city for water to relieve their burns and quench their thirst. A large fountain was built in their memory. The principle of peace enshrined in the Japanese Constitution was born of this horrific experience. Off the coast, the small island of the Goto archipelago seemed much more welcome. 11 are currently inhabited. Are known for having been the refuge of 3,000 Christians at the end of the 18th century during their persecution by the government. One refuge for these Japanese Christians was on the Satu no Ora cliffs of the small island of Wakamatsu. Out of sight, inaccessible from land, the cave was a perfect hiding place. However, one day, smoke was spotted by a Japanese boat. The Christians were then all captured and tortured. About 50 Catholic churches are scattered over the archipelago of the Goto Islands. Today, Catholics and Protestants represent 1% of the Japanese population. Among them, the Hamawaki Church was built in 1931 and was designed to withstand the violence of typhoons. The small churches of the Goto Islands represent the religious history of the local people. Despite persecutions and difficult weather conditions, they have maintained these places in perfect condition. At the time, churches were made of wood, like the small Q Gordon church built in 1881. Sozaki Cathedral, on the island of Fukui, was the first Catholic church that the Japanese government allowed to be built in 1879, after centuries of persecution. Because of their cultural value, the Goto Islands are now very popular with visitors who are curious about this troubled past.